Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Langley Lab. Today, I am so excited to share with you how to customize a turnover report in People Analytics. So, for those of you right now during year end that are getting bombarded by questions about what was our turnover for this year, blah, 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 stay tuned because I'm going to help you out in the next couple minutes here. If you're new here and you like this kind of material, please feel free to like and subscribe. It supports us, it gives us a little ammunition and motivation to continue rolling out these videos. And for those of you that want to stay connected, there will definitely be some information at the very end to connect with us on our other platforms as well. So, yeah, let's jump into it, shall we? All right, so in this presentation, we'll learn how to customize a demo report within People Analytics, formerly known as BI or Business Intelligence. Who knows, maybe by the time you're watching this video, it's been named something completely different. Just know it is the IBM Cognos Analytics engine that is supporting all of the administrative data within UKG Pro Core and a number of other modules within UKG. First, let's cover a couple of basic terms here. There will be a parameter. I'm not going to go over each one of these, but if you do have questions, definitely refer back to this glossary. So first of all, this is the new experience that was rolled out and will become the new state in March of 2026. So if you're not familiar with how this looks and feels, definitely start to get familiarized with it. Use the favorites. It is a lifesaver and a time saver. We'll be going to the administration system part of the menu here, as you can see, and then going down to reporting and then finding people analytics. Now, if you can't see people analytics here, might mean that you don't have access to perform this step. So contact your administrator, whoever that may be for your UKG platform, and request that kind of access if this is something within your job duties. Next up, we are going to locate the report. Now, currently it is named Headcount Acquisition Attrition, and then it has this code RWA 110 at the very end. You could either search for it or follow this location listed under Team Content, Sample Reports, Demo Reports, and Turnover Reports. Following that path will lead you to the report. This report has been around for many years now, as long as I can remember in my experience with UKG over like the last 9 years. So it should still be there, hopefully by the time you're watching this. It's a very, very popular report. We are going to click on the three dots on the right-hand side and click Edit Report. We are going to then save as a version of this report. But before you do that, it'll give you an idea of what the prompt page looks like when you try to run it. It will ask you for a reporting period, which most turnover reports ask for. So, do you want to take the beginning of the year to the end of the year or just the last 11 months? You can customize that end period. And these dates are very important because they will be used to calculate the average headcount between this period. So that is why it's very important. And then secondly here, this allows you to group headcount totals by the values in this category. Now, this is what our main focus in this video will be. It's going to be adding groupings that we want to summarize turnover by. So it's either going to be by department, division. Yours might be labeled slightly different, and I'll show you what the background of that looks like. We're specifically going to be adding age range and length of service. It's often one of those popular requests we get to group or report out on turnover by those groupings, and I'll show you an example of that. So from the prompt page, this is once you have the report open and you can see these options up at the top. We're drilling into the prompt page and going to that first prompt page. Now, this is already a pre-built report by UKG, so they might relabel this in the future. We're not allowed to control this. I want to stop right here, add an additional step here to make sure that you save this report as. Do not copy this report to another folder within your company folder because that will copy permissions that you don't necessarily have the ability to modify. What I mean by that is if you have special permissions set up in your company folders where certain people should be able to see certain folders versus others, if you copy this report into your company folders, you will not be able to modify any permissions because by design, UKG restricts you from being able to modify these demo and sample reports. So best practice is to save as into your company folders. So once you have that step locked down, make sure in step 4, you're going to click on the box where we saw the categories on that prompt page. And when you do, on the right-hand side, clicking on that properties pane, there'll be the static choices area under the data area. Select those 3 dots, ellipses, and then we'll be able to add a couple of options by clicking on the plus sign. And what we're adding, as I spoke before, we're adding age range and length of service. The next thing we're going to do is make a note on the side here for what the parameter name is, because we will update it in all the queries where this parameter is used. And if you don't know what parameter means, head back to that glossary page, take a quick look. But it's basically the question, the filter you are going to apply to all the other queries where this parameter exists. So in our example here with this report, parameter is category. That is what it is called. So we are going to write that down, keep that in mind, and search for it. But before we do that, let's just keep that on the side, pin it for now. Step 6, you're going to go to the job history query. So as you can see here, I have this job history query selected. And again, UKG might have modified this by the time I roll this out. Again, it's been around for many years, so I don't anticipate that. But in case it looks slightly different, that's why. And this is the job history query. We're going to add these couple of fields here, age years, and seniority years to the data items. That just means we're searching for them in the package and dragging them over to our data items box. Once we do that, we're going to create an age range data item expression. And this is an expression definition that has worked for me in the past, and maybe it's something that your company's interested in reporting out on as well. So feel free to take a note of what that looks like, pop it into GBT, take a screenshot, and tell it to annotate or transcribe it for you, and it will do marvels. So go ahead and do that. Make sure to always validate your expressions so that you make sure that there were no typos in it, even if ChatGPT or a Copilot or whatever AI tool you use to transcribe this, make sure that it does not make mistakes because it is prone to error. So validate that. And once you get a no errors in the information box below the expression, click OK, and let's go to the next one. Length of service, again, going to each of these, take a screenshot of it, validate, get that no errors, and click OK. Once you've done that, remember that note I asked you to take at the very beginning, what parameter was being used for that one prompt? Well, it was called category. So we are going to now find, and I find with really complicated queries, where there are so many queries, right? Like, look at this. There are so many here. Too many to count almost. So it's really complicated to find them and update fields. It can feel very daunting. So I want to make sure that you know you can always do a find by and locate any of the data items you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and do that, clicking on the 3 dots and then selecting find by. And in this step 10, we are going to type in category because, again, that was the name of the prompt I asked you guys to take a note of. And then we are going to find all. Once you find the matched text under the 3rd column here, as you scroll down, there will be many columns. Some of them won't be the source columns, meaning not the very original. It could be a joined category. It could be something else. So it's very important to find the ones that have the parameter built in. So you'll be able to notice it by a couple of characteristics. Parameters typically have a question mark at the start and the end of whatever it's named. So for example, right here, I can see the match text when I search for category. This was surrounded by 2 question marks here. So I know already that that's probably one of the ones I want to take a look at. So when you click on it, you will be taken to that part of the query wherever it's located. I did a find by any objects. So it could be on a page, it could be anywhere. And once you do that, once you click on it, I can tell I'm clicked on it right now because of this gray header. And then on the right-hand side, I can click on the expression text to actually edit or view that expression. And you can just double click into this box or click on the 3 dots there to open it up. Step 11, once you have it pulled open, you will then add the couple of categories that you're looking to add. In our example, we're adding age range and length of service. So I'll quickly explain what this expression definition is doing. First of all, it's saying when prompted with category, when org level 1 is selected, which is in that first initial table that we opened up and added age range and length of service to, it is there, org level 1, then populate org level 1 description or use that org level 1 description. So that is all it's saying. It's mapping whatever language or whatever terms we used in that parameter to an actual data item. So that is what we're doing here. We're mapping what we entered into that static choices field at the very beginning to an actual data item. And of course, if your org levels are named something else, maybe that's something you change up. You rename it within the static choices in that parameter prompt page. That is absolutely something you can customize. And then once you validate after you've added those options there, as you can see there, and you would just repeat that same pattern over and over again for any other categories you want to group turnover by. Once you've validated it, you can now run the report. You do that step. I want to be clear. You do this step multiple times. There are multiple queries in which category is listed. So don't just do it once. Make sure you go through find by, the step we did before, and you repeat these steps until you've updated it in all the appropriate places. Now, the reason this works is because all the turnover and headcount amounts are being referenced by this category field. So once you make those updates in all of the areas where you have category updated, then you can run it as Excel and it will show you those 2 new categories that you added. Hey, awesome. You can enter whatever date range you want and just go ahead and click finish. Now there is a second page in this prompt page, but in this sample demo report, but I won't be going into that. It does further filter like if you wanted to by each of these areas. So let's go ahead and click finish to run the report. And you might notice something weird. You're like, Hael, what's going on here? I got a really funky number over here. This is supposed to be by length of service, which is what it's showing me here. But the category is showing 528. What happened here? Well, this was done on purpose because I know this is where a lot of people get stuck and intimidated. So let's walk through how to resolve that. We need to change something called the aggregation, the detail and summary aggregation. Now, by default, whenever you add a query item or update something that is later joined, but it has a number value associated, this IBM will try to assign it a number and just count it. And it's a really weird behavior to me, but all you have to do to resolve this is to change the detail aggregation and summary aggregation to none. Once you do that, you can rerun it, and now you will see all your length of services and starting head counts. And this report contains a lot of other information, including voluntary, involuntary information, turnover rates, overall turnover rates. So this is extremely helpful to know that you can change this. Wherever length of service is, you can change that detail and summary aggregation. And again, highly recommend using that find by feature by clicking on these 3 dots up to make sure that you can cover all your bases wherever length of service is located. And then you will probably run into the same issue with, again, age range, because it's a number. It's trying to summarize something that is a number. We're using specifically, I think, age years, which IBM has in the package. It's a number type. So we have to go repeat that step, change the aggregation to none for detail and summary aggregation, rerun it, and all of a sudden you got it. So I wanted to go over that example because that's often where people get stuck, but fear not. This is good. Another item here that I'm not going into depth in this video, but want to make note of, if you have a different way, a different transfer code than the standard transfer TRO code in UKG, these may not work as well in your organization. So just be cautious of that. Always double check what other references are in the report. Make sure to always save your report. Obviously, I told you to save as at the very beginning, because imagine you did all that work and it didn't save or it crashed. Oh gosh, I would hate for that to happen. So another friendly report to save your progress. And we hope that you found this presentation helpful. As it goes with any turnover data, I know it's often very, very important for it to be as accurate as possible. So if you have any questions about how this report is built, feel free to comment down below and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as we're able to. And if you're interested in working together because you're like, Hayel, I keep running into issues and I don't know what to do, feel free to reach out. We are always looking to partner with different organizations and see where we can help out. So yeah, if you're interested in working together, info@langleyconsultingllc.com. And we love to work together if our vibes match, so, and our goals. So if you have any questions, again, subscribing, liking, it helps us immensely and motivates us to continue doing and putting out this kind of content. So if you liked it, woo! All right, see you next time.